To get right into it, our first topic is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, and it'll be a good one to kick you off. We're going to give you our thoughts on the Flash and the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Super Bowl trailers. To start with, we're going to go with The Flash first. I gave a very detailed video the other day about my feelings on The Flash, so my statements here are going to be kind of brief. But Derek, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm a lifelong fan of The Flash, if you can't tell by the name of the channel, which Eleanor did help us with, of course.
Well, of course.
And although I have always been a fan of Ezra Miller's interpretation of The Flash, he necessarily hasn't been my favorite version of Barry Allen. I still do like John Wesley Shipp,
Right.
Grant Gustin's a little bit more. But regardless of that, I've been wanting a movie of The Flash my entire life, and there's been one in development hell since 1988. Look it up. And so the fact that we're getting an actual trailer finally, not just a teaser, real full-fledged trailer, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of anxiety. Because,
Right.
yeah, we've heard Michael Keaton's in this movie, but he was also in Batgirl. And that movie had apparently CW-like level quality. Apparently it was like a CW movie or a television movie, according to Peter Safran and every WB executive that saw it. I know Leslie Grace and Brendan Fraser dispute that, so take it for what you will. So don't really know what to make of, okay, yeah, Michael Keaton's going to be in this movie. Batgirl's cancellation kind of honestly dampened my excitement for The Flash. We knew Michael Shannon Zod was going to be in it, but who knows, maybe he was going to get cut out after Henry Cavill's no longer Superman. So seeing all of that is obviously nothing to be concerned about. They're very in the forefront, in the center stage, and it was beautiful. It was glorious. Now, I was a critic of this whole Flashpoint storyline without Eobard Thawne, without Thomas Wayne,
As
which I
was I.
wanted. I really wanted Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play Thomas Wayne. I thought that would
That would have
been
been cool.
epic. And I don't know who you could have brought in to play Reverse Flash, but you know, they don't have the Wonder Woman Aquaman storyline and the World War III aspect, but they are kind of replacing that with the Kryptonian invasion and bringing back Michael Shannon and Feora as Zod. And in a way, that's kind of a sequel to Man of Steel, which is one of my favorite comic book movies. So I think that's great. I think if that's the main villain combined with Dark Flash, I think this movie's going to have a couple of amazing villains. And Andy Muschietti and Ezra Miller have said multiple times that this movie isn't necessarily about villains. It's about telling a story, a time-traveling story, but also a story about a boy looking for his mother. Now, we'll see how much of that's true and how much of it's really just CGI,
Right.
third action battle and whatnot.
Skybeam. Insert Skybeam.
But oh my God, when we saw Michael Keaton suit up and he finally turned around, I was like, okay, we're getting already way more than we got in the teaser. But he's getting up there in age. We know he's very fit, very mobile, and he can do action scenes still. But I was wondering, how are they going to showcase his mobility? And, you know, is he going to need any sort of physical enhancements? And then he takes the dive and he kicks all sorts of ass, just like he's Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like he could go toe-to-toe with any of them. Like he hasn't missed a beat. And it was perfect. I think everybody, and hearing the music as well, was just so perfect. So The Flash, super stoked for, I mean, I always was, don't get me wrong. But the drama behind the scenes, the constant drama with WB and DC Films, as it were, I don't know, the previous 10 years or more,
Right.
has obviously dampened this film. Because there's other films that I've been waiting all my life to see, like Justice League, like seeing a Batman and Superman on screen together, like seeing Shazam, like seeing Black Adam. Some of those have turned out great, some of them not so much. So I am still a little skeptical because this trailer was amazing. Maybe the next trailer isn't. Maybe the trailers are great, maybe the movie isn't. There is still that chance. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, no, I'm not going to go see this movie because of all the drama. And I do get that. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But as a Flash fan, as a DC fan, I have to go see this movie. I'm so excited, not to mention. And I was never really all that interested in this version of Supergirl for some reason up until this trailer. After seeing this trailer, and then they immediately released 3 posters with Batman, Flash, Supergirl. Now I'm on board for this version. I hope she gets the role in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie. I think that would be amazing. She looks great. I even love the suit, seeing it actually in motion and seeing it in the trailer itself as opposed to just in the still images. Same with the Flash's suit as well. I'm still not in love with his cowl. I think it looks a little more like a helmet. And I think they should have went for more like a Captain America look where it's a little more flat. And we've seen other cowls look a little bit better. But in motion, it did look better. Anyways, I'm nitpicking suits at this point because I'm so just dissecting everything in this trailer still. And am I forgetting anything major? I mean,
Ben Affleck.
oh, of course. But now Ben Affleck's Batman did not get as many standout moments as Michael Keaton's Batman. And I think that's because Michael Keaton's Batman is going to play kind of the Thomas role Batman in this movie. So he's going to be a lot more in the movie. I think he's got a lot more screen time. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think so.
But Ben Affleck's definitely going to be in the beginning. I think we all know that. And there's a chance he might show up in the end. But probably not so much in the middle. We're probably not going to have any scenes, unfortunately, with Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton together.
Right. It's just kind of like the Flashpoint animated film. We didn't get any scenes of Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne together.
Right.
But as for my thoughts, I'm really excited to see it. I think it looks fantastic. I was really, really hesitant at first because of all the drama going on. I wasn't even sure we were going to get this movie for the longest time. So now that we actually know, like, this is happening, they're moving forward with it, I'm pretty pleased with what I see. I'm going to keep my expectations, expectation free when I go into the movie and not make it so I'm insanely disappointed or anything like that, just in case. But I'm still really excited to see it. I'm stoked about Michael Keaton. Like, that was probably the coolest part of that trailer, especially with, like, the original suit and all that. Like, I was so down.
Original suit, original theme, original Batmobile, original actor.
Yes.
I mean, you got
great.
it all back.
Yeah, it's great, and I'm stoked. But what are you guys thinking about the Flash trailer? We're gonna move on into the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer just now. We watched the Super Bowl, of course, because we're American and that's what we do. So when I saw this Super Bowl commercial, I had to go and watch it again a couple of times because with these trailers, I like to watch them multiple times, kind of digest them, really. It kind of seemed sad, honestly, almost. It had a darker tone to it. Like, you saw scenes of, you didn't hear it, of course, because there was narration above it, but of Star-Lord, like, screaming and stuff. Of course, there were some humorous moments. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. There has to be some humor. They are pretty funny people. But there was a lot of sadness in this one. So I really do think they are concluding the chapter here, and I know they've confirmed that, but you can even feel it in the trailer that this is going to be the final chapter for the Guardians of the Galaxy, whereas, like, Thor Love and Thunder's trailer felt like they were saying it might be the end of the chapter, but it felt like it was still open-ended. I'm getting the feeling, the vibe from this Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer that it is the end of it.
That is truly the end. That it's
Right.
not just a marketing scheme.
Right. It's not a just kidding, we're right back type
Right.
marketing scheme thing, like you said. It is, like, even Drax seemed injured or upset in this trailer. And as we know, Dave Bautista sadly I don't think he really enjoys his time as Drax.
No.
So, I mean, it's sad, but it's going to be the end of the legacy really for the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's been going on a while, like 10 years, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, 10 years or more now.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a fitting time to end this chapter for not only the actors' lives so they can move on if they wanted to do something else, but also for these characters so they can usher in the next phase of space cadets, whoever these people are going to be, you know? Because we're going to have some in the Avengers films, I guarantee you, we're going to have some sort of space oriented heroes.
Some cosmic characters of some
Right,
sort.
exactly. So we just don't know who they're going to be yet. And I'm sure they're going to keep Captain Marvel around.
Probably the Marvels, yeah.
Right, exactly. So I think that's who they're going to usher in next. And I think they're opening that door up for this. And they're finally putting an end to the chapter really for like phase 3, phase 4, finally, I feel like here.
You know, I was late to the Guardians of the Galaxy party. I truly was, because I am a little bit more of a DC fan than Marvel. I'm not crapping on Marvel because I do love Marvel. That's not what I'm saying. But Guardians of the Galaxy was just one that none of the trailers really sold me on the first movie. So I didn't rush out and see it in theaters. And it took me probably around the time of the release for the second movie, honestly, for me to come around to watching the first one. And I actually saw the second one first, which a lot of people say is not as good as the first. And I'd agree with that for the most part. Although, because I think because I saw the second one so late and saw it before the first one, I think I was a little more forgiving to the film than most. That being said, I'm not crazy about either films. I like them. I'm fans of them. I think that they're good, fun Marvel films, and they're definitely in the top 20, maybe even top 15. But I'm not ready to put even the first Guardians in my top 10 MCU at this point. It could grow up and climb up there for me over time. But at this point, I'm not ready to say that. And
That's fair. Yeah.
for this trailer in particular, I would say that it definitely looks like you said. The stakes seem like they could be higher. It is James Gunn. He's going to have a lot more control over this movie, his cast, his characters, and, you know, being fired and then being rehired, having to do his DC stuff first and now coming back to finish off his Marvel run. I think, you know, this is his swan song in a way. And
I agree.
that Marvel cast really fought for James Gunn to come back. And I'm rooting for this film as a DC fan. I'm rooting for this film to do great at the box office, to do critically well, to do audience, for the audience to like it. And I'm hoping that I like it. I hope it's my favorite one out of the three. And like you said, Drax looked like he was maybe getting a little bit more of an emotional arc in this movie, which has kind of been Dave Bautista's biggest complaint. Also that he's not been as strong maybe as Drax the Destroyer should be portrayed, some would argue. Just some. But I'm really excited. I wasn't jumping over the moon as much as The Flash, just because I'm a Flash guy.
Right.
But out of the future Marvel movies in the near future, this one is up there for me. And yeah, it did raise my excitement, but I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in that. What do you guys think of the newest Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer? And do you think James Gunn is able to deliver a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy?
That brings us to our